Welcome, friends, to our next Bhagavad Gita lesson. Let's start by settling in with a slow, deep breath. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Shanti. This is episode number 295, entitled Homeward Bound, from the Paul Simon song, Homeward bound, I wish I was. Homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love light's waiting silently for me. Silently for me. And we're on the 22nd verse of the 8th chapter. Sri Krishna says, that Supreme Purusha Arjuna is realized through steadfast devotion to the One who both dwells within all beings and pervades the entire universe. Some on the bhakti path have taken this verse as proof that their way is clearly the best, hands down superior to jnana or Raja Yoga. I seriously doubt that this was Krishna's intention. He uses the word anamnyaya bhakta, which is a one-pointed and unwavering devotion. But the thing is, this kind of devotion doesn't just drop out of the sky. It blossoms out of knowledge, the clear recognition that nothing exists apart from the Supreme Being. In other words, jnana. And where does this knowledge come from? It arises from our steady yoga practice, which helps us to transcend identification and limits of the body and mind, aka Raja Yoga. It's hard to truly love something that we don't really know, and it's hard to know something if our mind is dashing about like a squirrel on espresso. The truth is that none of these paths are sealed off from the others. They feed each other. Steady practice brings knowledge, knowledge ripens into love, and love draws back the veil that separates us from or seems to separate us from the Supreme Purusha. Krishna tells us that the very same Supreme Being who is the substratum of this vast universe also resides in the depths of our own heart. The great homecoming he spoke of in the previous verse isn't about packing a bag and setting off in search of the hills and dales of some far-off land. No passport is required, no TSA lines or misconnections. What we're looking for dwells within the recesses of our own heart, Krishna says. The Buddha teaches us that the real journey begins when we find a teacher, a teachings, and a sangha. It's when we turn inward and rest in the gap between two thoughts that we find ourselves truly homeward bound. The great Swami Asokananda expresses this. Ananyaya bhakti is devotion of non-separation, is the outcome of right understanding of the relationship between the Jivatman, the soul, and the Paramatman, God. They are interrelated in a way in which the sea and the waves are interrelated. The waves do not have any existence independent of the sea. Similarly, Jivatman is no entity apart from Paramatman. He who understands this fact cannot help but having unswerving devotion to the Lord. When the individuality of the Jivatman is forgotten and absorption with the Lord, it is then the devotion of non-separation. For a reflection, when we think of love, we usually picture two parties, me over here and the beloved over there. Love, in a sense, implies a certain distance, a sweet longing across the gap. But Krishna isn't talking about that kind of love. He's speaking of a devotion without distance, a love where there's no me and other. That's not the usual Hallmark card kind of love. It's something deeper. To really get a taste of this, it feels like we need a Jnana Yoga moment, where the curtain lifts and you glimpse the oneness behind the play of twos. Thanks for joining. See you soon. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.